Now we'll see what is exception handling and how to handle that exceptions. So exception handling is a mechanism to detect and handle runtime errors so that the normal flow of the application can be maintained. You notice that and we are getting one error. It means this is we got that error. So the exception handling is that detect and handle runtime errors. It means we have found that error and now we can handle that error is called exception handling so that the normal flow of the application can be maintained, right? So these are the mechanisms available in Uipath to handle the errors, or you can say that to handle the exceptions, like rethrow, terminate workflow, throw and try catch. So we'll see about all these four exception handlings. I will tell you one by one with the example, with the theory, everything. So now we'll see here what is the advantage of exception handling. Why do we do exception handling? If we'll not do, then what will happen? So you know that if we'll not handle the exception, then what will happen? It will terminate your project. It will terminate the your workflow. It will not allow your Uipath to run the rest of the activities of your project. So that's why now we'll see what is the advantage of exception handling. So first, it maintains the normal flow of the application and stops abnormal termination. It means if we'll handle that exceptions, so it will maintain the normal flow. It means when we'll run that, so it will not stop until it runs all these steps, all these activities of the project. So that's why we handle the exceptions. So this is the advantage of that exceptions. Like for example, if you'll see here in a workflow, we have 10 activities, and let's suppose we got an error on activity 5 due to any issues. So what will happen if you'll not handle that exceptions? It will stop your workflow at here at activity 5. But if you will handle that exceptions, then we can maintain the normal flow of the application and we can stop the abnormal termination. It means even that will, if we are getting an error, but that will run till activity 10, right? The next advantage is we can display user-friendly error message to the user to describe about error instead of predefined exceptions. Like we can display the user-friendly error message to the users, because the predefined exception is that is already like come with the exception classes, exceptions that can only understood by the programmer, not by the user. So we can do one thing using exception handling. We can modify that error messages, that exception messages, and we can we can add our own messages, own exception messages, on errors to the users, so that the user can understand which type of errors they are getting. Might be the project has been delivered to the users, and now due to the silly mistake the user is getting errors, right? Then what will happen? The user is not able to run that project completely. So for that, if we will show them a user friendly error messages, then the end user can also handle that error. Might be like we have created a project and delivered to the user, and the by mistake user has deleted the config file, and the user is running that project and he is not able to understand due to the error message is not user friendly. Then he will have to, the user will have to call to the programmer, and then again the cost will be increased. So if we will add something like user friendly message, then user will also understand that yes, the config file is not available, then he will go to that location and he will check for that and he will correct that. The user can run that project again, right? The next one, we can take right action to resolve errors. So what is that right actions? Like you can, for example, you can send a mail to users for error occurred, right? You can log that errors. We can look for the missing resources. We can correct the errors. We can recover the steps if application or browser crashes. It means if you are getting an error using that exception handling, we can send a mail to the user that this project has one error on this activity or like whatever, or we can log that error into log file, or we can look for the missing resources also, like file is not available or any path is not correct, like that, or we can correct that errors. We can recover that if application browser crashes. It means like you are running one project in one IE browser or Chrome browser, or due to like any issue your browser is crashes every time, your application is like getting closed every time, then what can we do? We can write some steps in the catch block in like exception handling mechanism, and we can recover the same things again, right?